Hello everyone and welcome to the Belt and Road Face to Face.
It is indeed a very good and significant step taken by the government in giving this subsidy that will help improve the lifestyle in general and also improve the overall ecosystem.
There are about 35% of the population in Pakistan cannot touch internet.
So just having one platform is not enough. You need to have like several platforms competing against each other.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Belt and Road Face to Face with me, Zoon Khan. Our program is co-produced by China Economic Net and Vash News Television. Today I am pleased to be joined in our studio by Joe Rong, who is Senior Research Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies of Renmin University of China. And we also have with us from Pakistan Mr. Kamran Rasool, who is Quality Manager at Volkswagen Group, China. Welcome both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's start the first part of our program, Hotspot. The Federal Minister of Information Technology and Telecommunication, Syed Amin-ul-Haque, has announced that 3G and 4G services will be provided soon to far-flung areas of Balochistan, Khyber-Pakhtunkhwa and Gilgit-Baltistan. He said that the broadband project will create job opportunities and also empower women. At the contract signing ceremony for high-speed mobile broadband project in Muzaffargarh and Rajanpur districts at Evan-e-Sadr, Haque also said that in light of the Digital Pakistan vision, the Ministry of IT through the Universal Service Fund, also known as the USF, had been running diverse projects which were playing a huge and significant role in the socio-economic betterment of the people of these areas. Through the contract, a population of 2 million would take benefit of a subsidy of Rs 650 million. Mr. Kamran, first I will come towards you. So can you firstly discuss briefly why is it important this time for Pakistan to focus on the popularization of internet in remote areas?
We have in those rural areas or underdeveloped areas a lot of farming infrastructure, the farmers, and a lot of fresh produce, like milk farms, the organic farms, fruit and vegetable farms, and so on. And also we have in the different rural areas the factories in Pakistan, for example in Khyber and in other places where a lot of middle class workers are also living and working. So, those workers, they, go to those areas for work, and they have the chance only once a month, sometimes in several months, to go back and visit their own hometown. So they feel like disconnected when they're not able to get the proper signals or the services. So in general, it is indeed a very good and significant step taken by the government in giving this subsidy that will help improve the lifestyle in general and also improve the overall ecosystem, and could also solve or help or aid in solving the logistics issues and supply chain issues by more effective communication and being able to understand and know the situations more faster than ever before. And it will also aid in the online education. For definitely this COVID has been a really good learning lesson for everyone. The big cities have been able to cope up with it more effectively just because they had the proper intranet and internet infrastructure enabled. But for those disconnected and far located rural areas where there is not such infrastructure available, they were kind of cut off from the rest of the society, like the metropolis areas or in the big cities. So this will promote the online education in a situation like when the kids cannot go to the school, like in their gaon and dehat, like villages.
Yeah.
They're not able to get any education at all. So by having this connectivity is the first very basic and first step to empower the people.
Thank you, Kamran, for
Exactly.
really elaborating why it's so necessary. Professor Joe, how do you feel this step can benefit people's lives in Pakistan?
I suppose mostly you mentioned something about the remote area. They need 3G and 4G, but currently COVID-19, we all notice that there's a lot of lockdown. Because of lockdown, the students in the university and the pupils in the school are encouraged to study online. A lot of online classroom should be open. But we all know the online precondition for online class should be the internet. There are about 35% of the population in Pakistan cannot touch internet, and 2/3 of them cannot use it very freely because of sometimes the net is good, sometimes it's interrupt, and also because of the security reason. And the remote area, especially in the border area, people has no chance to access the internet. So all these are problems. And another thing, whenever there is order to do the implementation is what we say is seriously being done. After a week, everything is okay. But in Pakistan, implementation for good policy and good policy will take a lot of time.
What about other benefits of having 3G, 4G? For example, I was looking at how many Chinese farmers are showcasing their products online, on different online platforms. I mean, look at what other, do you think, economic opportunities?
When there are platforms, there will be people to showcase the stuff, right? So just having one platform is not enough. You need to have like several platforms competing against each other to create a healthy competition between the platforms, different platforms offering different kind of incentives. For example, in China, there is JD, is well known for the high quality, not selling any fake stuff, but there is also a cheaper options available, which are Taobao. So this creates a very healthy society that loves to spend and doesn't worry about spending their money online.
But what is the current progress of Pakistan, digital Pakistan?
Okay, so Pakistan is taking baby steps. You know, the enablement always comes from the government. If we take a very quick view at this by taking the example from China, you know, go back a little bit at the time when there was no mobile payments. And there were several companies, not only Alibaba, there were at least like 3 or 5 companies that were willing to get the online payment license from the government. It was the Chinese government that made it available or made it possible for them to have this possibility of using the mobile payment.
Yeah.
So that means the government had to lay down a foundation and make the necessary laws on which those companies can operate. So if I'm like a businessman in Pakistan and I say that, okay, I want to launch an app like Doing, or I want to launch a Pakistan native mobile app that will offer, you know, mobile to mobile payment mechanism, I would be, you know, just dreaming and saying this because I wouldn't know how to start, where to start, who to talk to, and even if I could find the connections and talk to the people in the ministry, I am not the person to make the law and write down the law and the framework on which I am supposed to operate.
Okay.
First, people from the ministry have to have interest in that. Second, they should watch something, Douyin or something else like that personally. Oh, it's very amusing, very interesting. Then just try to consult with some companies concerned. Then the company should say, oh, we should just win over their support. Before COVID-19, people just use, a lot of older people have to use cash to buy something.
Yes.
Right now, a lot of things changed. They do not know how to know. People tell them how to do that, how to purchase things. The second they forget, tell them again. Third time again until they learn.
And they will
a lot
learn.
of people about my age learn how to use.
Yeah, but now
web
there
chat.
is also a even more convenient way.
Yeah.
And I see the Chinese people, they're just paying by their face.
More our Pakistani friends come to China, try to watch that. Not only say higher, deeper, sweeter, this is no use. Just try to watch that. Not only I'm saying friendship, but to see why this friendship is valuable.
Yeah.
Because we two people can learn from each other.
So what role can China play in helping Pakistan expedite this?
I think China should do some things like that. At the beginning, China really helped Pakistan to do a lot of IT infrastructure. That is a hard infrastructure. Soft infrastructure, China has not done enough. We should send more trainers to Pakistan, especially remote area, to teach some junior trainer from Pakistan how to use that and how to make 3G and 4G more smart. Not only that's the more use, but more smartly used. Later I will talk some topic. I'm going to talk some more. So this is something like that. So China like to work more on hard infrastructure rather than soft infrastructure. China can also export some of the smart story about how to use Douyin for business, for e-business, for wire money, for a lot of things you can use that. Tell the people in Pakistan, do the repetition again and again. And then people, when you talk one time, you can now remember. Second time, you see, it seems you have impression. Third time, that word may belong to yourself.
China Mobile, I think both the countries can go into more deeper cooperation.
Sure.
Especially after this announcement for this, 3G and 4G.
Pakistan is not a wheat import country. Even last year, Pakistan export, I am sure it's about 800,000 tons.
But they have already gone through this phase, and now it's probably the perfect timing to start putting some really interesting content from those companies and organizations that want to promote these kind of solutions.
Yes. China import 10 times larger than export of wheat. So this is a reality.
You're watching the Belt and Road Face to Face, and we're about to enter the second segment of our program, Figure. The federal government of Pakistan gave directives for expediting the import of 1.5 million tons of wheat after procurement by the center, and the provinces fell short of the target by more than 1/5. The Food Ministry has issued 122 permits for the import of about 72,500 tons. But due to higher prices in the international market, nothing could be imported. Federal and provincial ministries are working at a slow pace as we speak. The cost of imported wheat, including freight charges, is estimated at $280 per ton, and the country will bear a total cost of about $420 million on the import of 1.5 million tons of wheat. The ECC had set the procurement target at 8.25 million tons for the current year. More than 120 importers have so far shown interest in wheat import. The ECC directed the Food Ministry to extend requested facilitation to the importers, including waivers from different taxes as well as duties. The Punjab government has fixed the wheat release price to the mills at Rs 1,450 per 40 kg, and the import price is higher than this, which requires a subsidy. Kamran, first let's come to you. The situation is obviously precarious. Can you just give firstly an idea how much is Pakistan's wheat output this year compared to previous years? And
I don't have the exact numbers of the output of the wheat per se, but what I can tell you is that Pakistan is not just only producing for Pakistan only, but Pakistan is also always definitely exporter of wheat. Although it's not among the top 5, but it comes right under like 6th or 7th number. In 2019, the overall, in the cereals and grains category where wheat falls in, the exports were about 1.2 billion, which is 5.3% of the overall exports of Pakistan. But the top 5 are basically cotton products.
Pakistan is not a wheat import country. Even last year, Pakistan export, I am sure it's about 800,000 tons wheat to other countries. And the next year, I'm sure Pakistan will still be able to export wheat to the other countries. This is number one. And number two, we should notice the urgent thing is to get some import of wheat. But the import of wheat you should do a couple of things. Number one is all the agency should finish their procurement. Is that procurement?
Procurement.
Procurement.
Yes.
Procurement job. That to say, whenever there's an import order, you should do that. Secondly, the government should also streamline the procurement. That is to guarantee that also to do some subsidy for the importer to lower the price. Third thing, I should also tell our Pakistani farmers, you know, Pakistan try to use the old-fashioned seeds of wheat for last 70 years. We should update that. So number one important to improve that is to update all the research institutions for agriculture. Let them just learn from China and some other advanced country.
There has to be a pre-education
Okay.
and showing them the benefits,
On-the-job training.
not just only telling them to use it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's beyond their mental capacity to really comprehend.
Why we don't use Douyin here?
Now everybody's using it just for having a smile or a laugh or a joke, but they have already gone through this phase, and now it's probably the perfect timing to start putting some really interesting content from those companies and organizations that want to promote these kind of solutions.
Yes, change amusing TikTok into
learning experience.
Yeah, learning. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For now, you know, we do see that maybe next year, maybe in the coming years, Pakistan will overcome. Like as Kamran said, these are temporary problems.
Let's say this way, China is both import and export wheat country. So every year China import something about the, what we say that is 200 million, something about grain, and export about 20 million, something like that, tons, I think. So mostly China import 10 times larger the export of wheat. So this is a real reality. Mm-hmm. So I support for our Pakistan for such an intimate, such a iron-hard friendship. You see, China can help Pakistan without any hesitation. Mm-hmm. But that cannot solve the long problem. If Pakistan suffered such kind of drop of the crop every year, so things will be different. But for this year, I don't really think there's any hesitation from the Chinese government to export. We also import some wheat from you before.
Okay, then subsidy.
We are a wheat exporting, we're a wheat exporting country. Excellent.
So Pakistan has a different kind of focus in the past several years. Pakistan never dared to come and take the steps like what Alibaba and Huawei.
At the beginning of the opening door policy, China really learned a lot from the West. Not only from the United States, but also from Japan, Korea, Germany, and Britain.
Pakistan's human workforce is the #1 export of Pakistan.
You're watching the Belt and Road Face to Face, and we've entered the third part of our program, culture. Recently, the 2020 China Top 100 Most Valuable Brands list was released. This is the China Brand Value Institute's comprehensive scientific and independent investigation of brand value development on our national brand building, future development potential, and comprehensive market competitiveness. The ranking is based on the company's main revenue, main profit, total assets, net assets, research and development investment, advertising investment, expected profit, brand market position, brand history, and various other factors as well over the past 3 years. Among the 100 brands on the list, Alibaba, China Mobile, Tencent, and Huawei are among the top 10. 45 brands have a value of over 100 billion yuan, and 41 brands have a value of over 10 billion yuan. The total value of the brands on the list reached 9,774.387 billion yuan, an increase of 7.65 percentage points from the previous year. Kamran, what about Pakistan? Can you name some Pakistani brands that have some potential?
So I'll start with the number one company, which is NetSol. Also, they have their offices in Beijing and all over the world. And basically, NetSol is working with automotive companies, financial institutions, making their software development companies. So basically, they're designing their corporate enterprise software solutions. And then the revenue, or maybe the exports, let's say in this way, the exports for NetSol just in 2015 and 2016, because that's the numbers that I have, were about more than 20 million. It's no comparison to the companies that you just mentioned from China. It's this tremendous difference and gap also in the focus of the industry. These companies that I'm going to mention are of all of different nature. So first was the NetSol, then there is a Systems Limited, is also an IT and services company, also 20 million plus exports and about 2,500 employees globally. Then there is a S&P Global, which is a company like Frost and Sullivan. Basically, this is a marketing intelligence company. They provide the marketing intelligence reports. Then we have a Teradata. I'm sure you might have heard the name of Teradata. It's a really famous name. It's all over the world. You will see a big office in the Shanghai, Kajiyuan, the Shanghai High Tech Park also. Teradata is a global company, and they have also a big revenue, but I don't have the exact amount. Let's say it's between 10 to 20 million of US dollars. This is a big data and Internet of Things company. So this company is somehow slightly related to Alibaba, Tencent and Huawei, because they're working on big data and IoT, but not purely on telecom or mobile apps. So they're part of the ecosystem, but they're not like Alibaba that have their own entire ecosystem of apps. And then there are other companies like TRG, which is an investment holding company, also a famous brand in the world. And then there is another famous company known as MTBC, which is a medical transcription billing company, which does the medical transcription of, for many different Western countries like UK, Canada, US, where doctors record their, the transcriptions, and then these transcriptions are sent to the back offices and outsourced companies, locations in Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad, where the engineers who are able to understand and have done this transcriptionist certification write down the transcriptions in the correct order and the correct words and send them back to the relevant hospitals in all
Innovative.
over the, yes. So it is it's a very old solution. Actually, this has been in operation since more than 30 years now, this medical transcription. Then we have Always Technology, which is located in Blue area near the Marriott Hotel. Their office is in Lahore in Islamabad. It is an IT services company. And then we have I2C and LMKR. LMKR is basically working with the Halliburton. It's focusing on oil and gas sector. Basically, they're very capable in finding or pinpointing the exact location of where the oil is, just by sending some seismic sound waves under the ground and telling you from the data that there is a deposit of oil or fuel. And then
this is a Pakistani company.
This is a Pakistani company that is, Halliburton is the biggest name. That is one of the biggest customer of LMK Resources and utilizing their scientists. So Pakistan has a different kind of focus in the past several years. Pakistan never dared to come and take the steps like what Alibaba and Huawei did in terms of creating those modems and devices. How did this happen in China? Is basically because China was already a hub for this Western companies for outsourcing their digital equipment production facility, like going to the ODMs like Foxconn and so on. And so the designs would come from US and Canada, and then they will build them here because there was a factories located in China. And that is how China learned this knowledge okay, so this is the device I'm making is for Cisco, it's a modem, why don't I make it within my own brand name Huawei, and I sell a Huawei modem or ZTE modem.
Right.
So these are basically, this was like an opportunity for China that Pakistan never had, because we never had those kind of factories in Pakistan. You know, if you take all of the Pakistan's exports, putting cotton, leather, you know, the cereals, copper, medical equipment, fish, and fossil fuels, everything together, and you put Pakistan's human workforce. Pakistan's human workforce is the #1 export of Pakistan. How can I say that? Because just only 2019 alone, Pakistan's workforce that is working in all over the world, from a security guard to a chef to an engineer to a scientist and a doctor, from Saudi Arabia and Dubai to US, China, everywhere, have remitted 22 billion US dollars in whole year, which is above, higher than the physical exports, which is $21.8 billion. And this $21.8 billion is not the profit. It has the marketing cost, shipping cost, and so on, and everything.
And this 22 billion is the official number.
This 22 billion is the official number.
Which is not
And this
accurate.
22 billion is all the profit for the families, right?
Yeah.
So Pakistan has been the #1 exporter of their talent outside to US, Canada, and mainly to the Western countries. I would say that let's utilize it and find a way to nurture and grow this within the region, within China and Pakistan, as we also see the dynamics of the world are changing very fast.
Yes.
So let's make Pakistan and China stronger and better.
What can Pakistan directly learn from China?
Number one, at the beginning of the opening door policy, China really learned a lot from the West, not only from United States, but also from Japan, Korea, Germany, and Britain, as well as France. At the beginning, China just followed that without any building any brand. Later, China learned their know-how and to establish our brand ourselves. Another thing which I suppose Pakistan use because of, on the regard of the brand, I think you borrow a lot from the West. But in China, one of the very good examples you can copy it is Haier. Number one, Haier used to be a comfort strategy, right now changed into family transform conversion strategy. That to say, Haier is not only a code machine at your home. It's become like a human. It become like a family member. And the human and the machines can have interaction. You can see Haier, for their branding, they just make certain kind of smart kitchen or smart living room. Let you to enjoy, to experience how Haier is good. Because in Pakistan, people like to go outside to watch broadband and TV. And at home, you can also watch TV, even mobile, to see. But you do not know who is the best one, which are most suitable for us. You have no idea. But here you don't have to. You go there. They have certain kind of the room to personal experience.
Yes.
For instance, you know, the largest refrigerator made by Haier is about 500 liters big. Why? Because for your 8 days, we can keep 12 sheep within one, I mean, of course, not sheep, the meat of sheep, you see, into one refrigerator.
Yeah,
and also
coming
to shorten the ice making from 6 hours to 1 hour, and to quick making ice, something like that. A lot of things which you can see the Haier had advantage, and also because of Haier, and that make all your refrigerators industry to come to international standard.
I would like to say that, you know, at the background, all these Chinese companies, like for example Alibaba, Tencent, and Huawei, I really admire and appreciate the Chinese government that they never allow these companies to really fight with each other or compete with each other in the country or even outside the country.
It will take some interest and creation of a suitable environment from the government. It will take attractive measures and interest from the public, but also the cooperation with China can be decisive when it comes to Pakistan's progress as we move forward. So thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Until next time, goodbye.